to video number 5. My name is Ben Gothard, founder and CEO of Gothard Enterprises, author of CEO at 20, a little book for big dreams. And today, I want to continue with the series, How to Build a Content Empire. Now, this is the 5th video in the series, and I'm pretty excited about that. This is one of my favorite pieces of the whole series, is talking about targeting and really getting in depth on interest-based targeting, right? So interest-based targeting is a very, very new phenomenon, right? Google has mastered search, and that is very, very powerful, as Google has proven. But Facebook, on the other hand, they've mastered interest-based targeting, really targeting people based on their interests and likes, and not just the demographics, but also the psychographics of who they are, and really at a fundamental level getting to know people. So we want to use that as content creators to our advantage, because if we can understand our audience at the most fundamental level possible, then we can provide them with the value that they need. We can give them good content. In fact, we can give them great content, because that is what we need to do in order to make sure that you are able to build a content empire, which is why you're here in the first place. All right, so let's jump right in the video, and I'll see you soon.
So in this video, I'm going to be talking about identifying your target market through interest-based targeting. And before I jump into how to do it, I want to do a quick recap on target markets and your target audience. I want to talk a little bit about what that is, why it's important, and why one of your options is to focus on interest-based targeting. Then I want to dive deep into interest-based targeting. I want to talk about what that is, what is interest-based targeting. I want to talk about why it's so effective, and then I'm actually going to give you a step-by-step process to use using some various free tools online. Okay, so let's get started with a summary of target audience. So what is a target audience? Well, I actually did a video on this that went really in depth on this subject. But to summarize, your target audience is the group of people that represents your buyers, your customers, your prospective consumers. Your target audience is this group of people that together they are representative of who your customer, your ideal customer really is. So a target market could be people 20 to 30 years old who really like to go fishing. If you are a fishing guide and you happen to resonate very well with 20 to 30 year olds, that's an example of a target market, of a target audience. And it's important to understand what a target market and a target audience is, because when you understand it, you can leverage it to your benefit. And so when you really understand what a target market, a target audience is, and what the purpose of it is, then you can implement that into your own business. So what is it? What is a target market? It is your customers. It is a group of people who you are trying to market to, who you're trying to sell to and try to reach in order to get them to buy your product or service. Okay, why is it important to have a target market or to have a target audience? Well, once you understand who these people are, you will have a much easier time marketing to them. You'll be able to craft a message that is meant for their ears. You will be able to talk their language. You will have the ability to go to them where they are. So instead of going to the Sahara Desert to find botanists, people who like to grow plants, You can go to the rainforest because the environment is more fitting in the rainforest to grow vegetation and to grow different plants and flowers. So you wouldn't go searching for water in the desert, just like you wouldn't go searching for clients in the wrong place. And so when you understand your target market, when you have a firm grasp of it, of both the concept and the specific target market of your business, then you unlock a lot of benefits. As I said, you can craft a perfect message for them, for your audience, for your prospective buyers. You can reach them where they are. You can make it easy for them to purchase from you, which it lowers your marketing costs. It makes your conversion rates higher. And to explain those a little bit, instead of having to spend $10 for a customer, when you really understand who they are and where they are and what they want to hear, then you can drop that down to $5 a customer, $3 a customer. Those are arbitrary numbers, but you understand the point. When you understand your target market and you can tap into really targeted marketing, then your cost per customer is going to decrease. And it decreases as a function of a lower cost it costs you less money to reach more of the right people, and it is a function of a higher conversion rate. So not only does it cost you less to reach more of the right people, but because they're the right people, more of them are going to convert into customers, paying customers. So if you randomly go get 100 people from the population, then maybe if you're a good salesperson, 1% of them will buy your product. But if you target well and you know who you're going after, so you're only going after a specific market, let's say you're going after, if you're selling a specific type of fishing pole, if you're going after fishermen and you happen to be selling a fishing pole for advanced fishermen because it has different tools and gadgets on it that if you're an advanced fisherman, you know how to take advantage of that, and it's actually a better rod. You have more customization with the rod and the reel, then you can sell it to those very high-performing fishermen and fisherwomen. So when you understand your target market, you can cut your costs down. You can have better conversion. So if you're getting more of those fishermen and women that are at the level that they can appreciate the rod and reel, and because you're getting more of those people for less money, you just have more customers who are in a position to buy, and because they're the right customers, more of the people, of those specific people that you show your product to, the more that are going to buy. Okay, so how do you identify who your target market is? And that's what the main focus of this video is on, because there are two, and there are more than two, but I'm going to simplify it to two ways to target people. There's interest-based targeting and there's persona-based targeting. And these can be used in conjunction. Part of your persona, and a persona is taking a fictitious individual and giving them the demographic and psychographic qualities that make them your perfect customer. For example, a male aged 24 to 27 who listens to rock music and owns his own house. That's a very specific persona. Now, an interest-based targeting is more, well, I'm actually going to get into it. I'm actually going to get into interest-based targeting, but I wanted you to see the distinction that there is a distinction between persona and interest. Interest is based on the activities that people do, and of course I'm going to get more into that in a second, but persona is a very specific person who you have in mind. So You can use interests as part of persona-based targeting, but the way that I'm explaining it right now and the way that I'm viewing it in this video is that persona-based targeting is more focused on demographics and psychographics. Interest-based targeting is a separate thing, and that's what I want to get into. So, what is interest-based targeting? Well, at its core, it is targeting, and when I say targeting, I mean it is labeling customers via different qualities of themselves. So it's not like judging people. That's not what I mean by labeling them. It's by objectively figuring out who somebody is based on data and different specific characteristics. So the characteristics that are taken into account with interest-based targeting are just that, interests. So it's interests such as golf. Some specific person may like golf. And with interest-based targeting, a golf company that sells golf clubs, a golf company that sells golf clubs or golf balls can target and market to a specific individual because that individual likes golf. Now, at its core, interest-based targeting is a way to market to people based on topics that the people, connect and engage with online. And so you might be asking yourself, well, how do you know what people connect and engage with online? And one of the things that is becoming a lot more prevalent in our society today is the gathering of information via the internet. When you go online, there are any number of different companies that are collecting data on you, whether it be your search history, which is never, ever safe, whether it be your buying habits, whether it be your browsing habits, anything and everything that can be quantified by data and understood and tracked and processed and collected about you is being done. People, and not people, it's algorithms, it's data collection engines. These data collecting entities are tracking your every movement, and they know your location, they know your IP address, they know what kind of computer you're using, they know what browser you're using, they know what keys you're typing, in what order, at what time of day. And I'm not saying this to arouse alarm, but I just think that it's important that you understand what's going on when you go on the internet. Because when you go on the internet, you are giving people you're giving these different data collection entities, you're giving them the right to do so. And you're not signing a waiver saying you can collect data on you, but whether you are aware of it or not, and now you are aware of it, by going online and by putting your data out there, there's nothing you can do to protect that data. So anyways, targeting based on different interests takes into account the websites that you go to, your buying habits, your spending habits, what you post on social media, what you like on social media, what you connect with and engage with on social media. Social media was and is the birthplace of interest-based targeting, because you can like a page on Facebook related to fishing, and now Facebook knows that you are interested in fishing, that you connected with fishing. You have engaged with a page that is based on fishing. And Facebook isn't the only social media site that does this. Twitter does this. Instagram is owned by Facebook, so they do that. And I'm not going to go platform by platform, but you can be sure that regardless of what social media platform you use, that platform is collecting data on you. And they are allowing marketers, business owners to target you and market to you based on your activity. So that is what interest-based targeting is. Now, once we've accepted the fact that this happens, now we can use it to our advantage. Okay? As marketers, in today's world, we have an almost unlimited ability to find people that match our target market. Do we need to find people who like fishing? Great, we can do that. Do we need to find people who enjoy going to music festivals? We can do that. Anything, almost anything and everything interest-based can be a source of information for people to market to you via. And let me say that again. Anything that you do online that even remotely tips off an algorithm that you are interested in something or you're connected with something, then opens the floodgates for marketers to come market to you based on that interest. And I actually want to go into Facebook and I want to show you how in depth it actually is, because I think that you deserve to know how deep it goes and how powerful interest-based targeting is, and just to really see firsthand exactly what it is, and from a marketing perspective, see how powerful it is. So I'm going to jump into Facebook and show you. So in order to get to this screen, if you're a marketer, you should be familiar with this, but for anybody else, I simply went to my personal Facebook account. I went to the top right to find this little arrow. I clicked it and I scrolled down to create ad. So now that we're here, I'm going to pick an arbitrary marketing objective, because what I want to show you lies in this section here. Specifically, the audience subsection of the ad set, and within that audience section, I want to go to detailed targeting. And I want to browse because Facebook offers you the ability to target people based on all of these categories. But for the sake of this video, we're only going to investigate interests. So if we go over here, Facebook says you can reach specific audiences by looking at their interests, activities, the pages they have liked, and closely related topics. So let's see how in depth we can actually get. Okay, so as you can see, there are categories here. Okay, let's start with business and industry. So you can target people based on whether or not they have expressed an interest in or like pages related to advertising, to agriculture, architecture, aviation, banking. We can even go further: investment banking, online banking, retail banking, business, construction, design, all these different types of design, economics, engineering, entrepreneurship, healthcare, higher education, management, marketing, nursing. we can go as far as a specific type of online. Digital marketing, advertising, all these different types of marketing and internet marketing. And we can go to personal finance, whether people have an interest in credit cards, whether they have an interest in insurance or investment or mortgage loans. You can see people like real estate, retail, sales, science, small business. And so you can see how in-depth it gets. I mean, you can tell a lot about people based on the interests that they have. And that's exactly what Facebook is doing. They're taking all of the things that people do on their Facebook profile, and they're collecting data on that. And for marketers, we have the ability to reach people based on these. So, let's say that the brand that we're trying to advertise for is a new card game, or the brand sells playing cards. Well, you can target people based on whether or not they like card games. I mean, that is powerful. There's almost never before in history been as specific of a way to target people than based on interests. I mean, this is truly a new phenomenon that has come about based on social media, because these websites are collecting data on what people like, on their interests. I mean, it's crazy to think. And so you can go through all these different types of games, to live events. You can target people, like I said, based on whether or not they like music festivals. And whereas it has been a guess before for marketing, whether or not people like these things, now people are saying, because they go on and they like pages or express interest in things related to music festivals. So think about traditional advertising. If somebody was listening to a radio, a specific radio show, you don't know what their audience is. You don't know who their audience is. You don't know what they like. You know very little about them. Now, you can take educated guesses. For example, if you were advertising to a car show, then you could take an educated guess that these people have somewhat of an interest in cars. And so you might want to run a tire advertisement or a car wash advertisement to these people. But there is very little data on the people who listen to a specific radio show, unless that very specific radio station has surveyed their customers and somehow extracted that information. There's no way to get as precise and detailed as Facebook is getting. So it truly is an incredible phenomenon that has happened. And for marketers, it is an incredible opportunity to find your customers. So let's say that you are a company that sells camping equipment. Well, you can target people who like camping. It is that cut and dry. And not only camping, but you can target people that like to hike too. And you can target people that like hunting. And you can actually get pretty narrow with it. So you can say, okay, I want people that like camping and hiking, but they also must match the interest of horseback riding or hunting or mountain biking. And so now it's cross targeting. So whereas these two together, these two interests are going to be well over 100 million people. See 92.35 million here and 85.21 million here. People. Now some of these are going to overlap, but when you do camping and hiking, and then they must also be interested in hunting, then you're cutting down the 115, 85, and 92 down to 19. And that is an incredible change from how advertising has been done before. Because, again, there's no way to get this precise with something like a television ad or a radio ad or especially a print ad, because you have no idea who's actually on the other side of that screen or the other side of that newspaper or the other side of that magazine reading it. So what is interest-based targeting? It is a very new phenomenon, a very powerful phenomenon, and an extremely, I'm not going to say easy, but it is a form of marketing and advertising that has extreme potential for those who understand how to do it, who understand how to not manipulate it, but to get the most out of the Facebook platform. So when you understand how to target people at a very fundamental level, and you get it, you can basically reach anybody in any niche for whatever you want. So that's what interest-based targeting is. Now I'm going to jump back into the presentation because I want to talk a little bit about why it's so effective. So we're back on the presentation, and I want to talk about why interest-based targeting is so effective. And I think fundamentally, once you understand what it is, there's not really a far jump to understanding why it's so effective. I mean, people are literally telling you what they like, and then you are marketing to them based on what they just told you they liked. When somebody goes and likes a page on Facebook, they are essentially giving you, like, they're putting a target on their back for marketers. Let's say somebody goes and they like a Southern Marsh page. There is nothing that's stopping Southern Marsh from then advertising to them, because the person just liked their page. They have expressed interest. For some reason, they have clicked the like button on Southern Marsh's page. That means they would have had to go to Southern Marsh's page, or they would have seen an advertisement by Southern Marsh already, and they would have liked what they saw. And so when they click like, they're opening the floodgates to being marketed to by Southern Marsh. But not only that, for those of you who aren't familiar, Southern Marsh is a clothing company. And when somebody expresses interest in, let's say, Southern Marsh, for example, Facebook will automatically figure out what else that means that these people are interested in. So it could be polo shirts, it could be t-shirts, it could be clothing, it could be specific buying patterns. And so all of these different interests can stem from that original connection and engagement with the Southern Marsh page. So why is it so effective? Well, people are literally telling you what they like and then allowing themselves to be advertised to. And when I say allowing themselves to be advertised to, people constantly get advertised to on Facebook, yet there are over 1.6 billion monthly active Facebook users. And that's as of the end of 2016. That number is truly expected to go up. And so when people are telling you what they like and allowing you to market to them and staying on the platform regardless of being marketed to, then there's nothing stopping marketers from marketing to them a lot. And that's what marketers will do. And as a marketer, that is absolutely what you should be doing. So take advantage of this. Take advantage of interest-based targeting. Learn the ins and outs of it and dominate your marketing. So in addition to being told, well, not in addition to, but by being told exactly what they like, by telling Facebook exactly what they like, people are allowing you to hyper-target them. And interest-based targeting allows you as a marketer to hyper-target people. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, that's just a fancy way of saying that you are targeting the exact people that you need to target. And with interest-based targeting, you can target people so precisely that it is hyper-targeting, and it is done quickly. When you like a page that, and people like more than one page, so there's tons of data on any specific individual. But when that individual likes a new page and adds that to their repertoire, Facebook will use that data to more accurately label that specific user. And then all those specific users are grouped based on interests. And because they are grouped so effectively by Facebook, you know that when you put in fishing for an interest on your Facebook ads targeting, you know that you're going to get people who are interested in fishing. And that allows you and kind of does most of the work for you when it comes to hyper-targeting. Because instead of having to target all sports and outdoors, all people who like to go on boats, because there's water skiing, there's scuba diving, there's snorkeling, you can literally target people based on what they like. And that allows you to hyper-target. And so, why is that so effective? Why is hyper-targeting so effective? Well, it helps you to lower your costs. Instead of having to pay money to target people that you are unsure instead of having to target people that may or may not be the audience you thought you were targeting, and by that I mean instead of paying money to be on a radio show where you think a certain demographic is on, but they're actually not, you can tell Facebook, okay, I want to target fishermen. I want to target people who like fishing. You know you're going to get people who like fishing because the people told Facebook that they like fishing. And Facebook is simply allowing you to target them based on that information. So the reason that hyper-targeting lowers marketing costs is that you don't have to search for specific individuals amongst a group of people. You can simply target a group of people that fit a certain criteria. And it's very systematic. It's very data-driven on Facebook. There's no guessing. If you want to target people who like fishing, then you target people who like fishing. Now, that's not to say there's no experimentation. And some people say they like fishing, but they may not be interested in buying fishing gear. So there's still some ambiguity as to, yes, they like fishing, but are they going to buy this specific product, this specific fishing product? There's a little bit of ambiguity there, but think of how much more advanced this system is than any other targeting methodology that marketers have had before. So that's why it's so effective, is because it allows you to hyper-target. It grants you lower costs. It gives you lower costs because you can target groups of people that all fit your criteria instead of targeting groups of people who may or may not fit these specific criteria. You're going to get better conversion rates for the same reason. You're targeting the right people. And not only is it an overall better marketing, it's overall better marketing in general. And not only is it overall better marketing in general, but it's a better customer experience. And that is the secret to Facebook's success. When you're advertised to as an individual, those advertisements are so tailored to you that it makes the experience for the customer even better, because nobody likes being advertised to, but if you're going to be advertised to, it might as well be something that you're interested in, right? So if you're a fisherman, you don't want to be advertised to at all. Nobody does. But if you have to be advertised to, which is the cost of using Facebook, which people pay, then you may as well be targeted based on the things that you actually like. So you may as well see a coupon for 10% off Bass Pro Shop. That is one of the secrets to Facebook's success, and that is why interest-based targeting is so effective, is because instead of feeling like they're just getting marketed to relentlessly, these users are actually getting information on products that they probably use anyways. So Facebook is trying to take the unpleasantness of marketing out of that equation, and they've done a really good job of it, which is why the platform is so effective. So why is interest-based targeting so effective? Well, people tell you what they like, and then you just have to go target them. That is hyper-targeting. You can target people very specifically based on what they like. Well, that's one example of hyper-targeting. You get lower marketing costs because you're targeting the right people, and you're able to get the right people for a lot less money. And you also, because it's the right people, you're going to get a lot better conversion rates, conversion percentage, which also helps to drive costs down. And in addition to that, it's just overall better marketing. You can craft a very specific message to a specific group of people that it's highly relevant to, and you can reach those people with lower costs and better conversion rate, and it's a better customer experience. Facebook actually quality checks all of the advertisements that it allows on its platform. So if you're putting out terrible advertisements, then chances are Facebook's going to take you down. They're going to take down your advertisement. So they want to have quality on their platform. They want people to have a good customer experience. And so they're going to do everything in their power to ensure that that happens. So that is why interest-based targeting is so effective. Now, I want to show you how to do it. I want to show you how to actually market to people using interest-based targeting. And I want to do that through Facebook. So I'm once again going to take you inside of my Facebook account and show you a trick that you can use. It's not a trick, but show you a strategy, a process that I use whenever I want to build an interest-based targeting audience, target audience, that is. So I can build a target audience based on interests. Okay, so I'm actually going to show you a strategy in order to do that. So now we've jumped into my Facebook account, and I went up to these three little bars right here, and I clicked on Audience Insights. Now it's going to take you to this, and this allows you to gain information and access information about specific audiences. So if you want to learn more about the people that are connected to your page, click there. Custom audience, click there. But for the sake of this example, I want to look at everybody on Facebook. And again, Audience Insights, when you go here, go to All Tools, over to Plan, Audience Insights. Okay, so here you see interests. And we're going to go in and we're going to find a specific interest that we want to target. And I'm going to show you how to build a full audience based on an interest. So let's say, for example, that we want to use some sort of sports and outdoors interest. Let's say we want to do basketball. So we're going to plug in basketball, and Facebook actually gives us a ton of data and a ton of information on this demographic, a ton of demographics based on this interest. However, for the sake of this video, I'm not going to go through all of these. I want to show you one particularly useful strategy. So you're going to want to go to you're going to want to plug in your interest here, and then go to page likes. And this is going to give you different pages on Facebook that are related to your interests. And these are the pages that the people who like basketball like these pages the most. And so what we're going to look for, and let's say, for example, we are actually selling basketballs. So we're going to look for different pages that only people who would buy a basketball would look at. So let's check out NBA on TNT. So we know that the NBA is the National Basketball Association. There are 5.8 million people who like this page. There are tons of pieces of content that are related to basketball. Everything is basketball here. And so you know that anybody who's on this page is a fan of the NBA. It's a fan of NBA on TNT. And so you know that these people are interested in basketball. So let's say that this page is related to basketball. Okay, fantastic. By including this page, this helps us, to narrow down our audience even more. Because yeah, they may like basketball, but if they like the NBA also, then they're even more inclined to be big fans of basketball. So NBA on TNT, we know that that is one potential target for our advertisements, and we can actually target the people who like that page. But let's find some more. Let's see, NBA memes, maybe not. LeBron James. So to people in the basketball world, LeBron James is known as the king. He is a phenomenal basketball player, probably one of the greatest that's ever lived. I'm not going to debate whether or not he's better than Michael Jordan or any of that kind of stuff, but we can all agree that LeBron James is a very talented athlete. So by going on his page and targeting the people who also like LeBron James, then once again we are narrowing down our audience, because we are seeing, or we're seeing that a lot of LeBron James page is going to be people who like LeBron James, and they literally like LeBron James. They have liked his page, and so these are people that are probably fans of him and fans of basketball. And so when you combine a target of both NBA and LeBron James, and not both because you're also including basketball, then you are able to target people based on two different perspectives. One, whether or not they like the NBA, and two, whether or not they like LeBron James. And all of this assuming that they already like basketball. So you can see the power of narrowing down an audience based on a few different perspectives around the same market. So if they like the NBA on TNT, if they like LeBron James, and they like basketball, all those three criteria, chances are they're going to be somebody who watches basketball regularly, who enjoys basketball, who probably plays basketball. And if you play basketball, then you need a basketball in order to play. It's part of the game. So if you're selling basketballs, then this would be the market or an example of a targeted group of customers that you would want to go for. Now, NBA on TNT has 5.8 million people. LeBron James has 22.98 million people on that like the page. So just with these two pages, and you can target these when you're building your audience, just with these two pages, you can already get millions and millions of people to target. So when you're finding people to target, go on the audience insights. Go see what's most related to your interests and cross-target amongst all of these different pages. Now, and cross-target amongst them to find groups of people who would be very likely to want to buy a product such as the product that you are selling. Now, there is a little bit of an advanced strategy that you can put in place here. And I touched on it, but I want to highlight it once again. And that is hitting the same market from different perspectives. See, we are now at this point approaching people from a core interest, but also an interest, a page related to that interest, and that is the medium that they watch the thing that they enjoy on, as well as one of the players that they might be watching. Okay, if we're hitting them from two different perspectives, that's more powerful. It's more hyper targeting. But we can. The advanced thing to do is to keep adding different types of pages, different types of interests. So maybe they like the NBA and they like LeBron James, but maybe they also enjoy something like Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods has tons of sports and outdoors equipment, including basketball equipment. And that's another 4.2 million people to pick from, to market to. And so now that we have the television station, one key player, and a store, we know that people are very interested in the game. We know that people idolize those who play the game. And we know that people are buying things related to the game. So when you keep adding different audiences and restricting your audience down to something that is between 50,000 and I would say, well, I misspoke, between 500,000 and 5 million, then you have an audience that is very precise and it's very predictable who the people are that you're trying to target, because you're targeting them based on their own interests. So keep stacking interests. Keep finding new ways to potentially find the same interest, and do it based off of audience insights. And if you continuously master this process and keep trying to target people and adjusting, then you will essentially be performing interest-based targeting. You'll be utilizing interest-based targeting. So there's not like a manual. There's not like there's this manual that all of the people who have ever been good at interest-based targeting have, and it's a secret manual. That's not what it is. The people who are the best at this are the people that try to do it, that invest money in Facebook, invest money in advertising to test, because you can understand a theory all you want, but until you go out into the real world and test it and make sure it works and come up with your own theories, you're not ever going to truly understand how to do it at a fundamental level. And being able to target people based on the interests that they have is an incredibly powerful skill as a marketer. So use interest-based targeting, understand your target market, and make more sales.
Right, everybody, I hope this video has been very helpful to you and has provided you with a ton of value, and I hope now you can answer the questions: what is interest-based targeting, why is it so effective, and how exactly do I do it, right? So this has been a lot of theory and a little bit of practical advice, but if you want more practical advice, and I'm talking step by step exactly how to create your content empire, how to build your content empire from the ground up, then my partner in this venture, Dr. David Zemmels, he is a PhD, Dr. David Zemmels and I, we have a resource for you down in the description below. So make sure to go click that. That is by far the easiest way that I found to build a content empire, and I break it down step by step for you so that you can then build your own content empire. Alright, so great. Click down below, and I will see you in the next video in the series. Thanks. Bye-bye.